Come on now. You already know what this is. First things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. And that's the Heartbreak Prince himself.
Oh, oh. Yeah, yeah.
Man, look, this was a interesting week for wrestling, man. So let's go ahead and talk about it and get into it. Let's go ahead and kick it off talking about the 2 hours and 30 minutes of fire for Monday Night Raw, baby. Man, it always gets me. Ah, man. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on Monday Night Raw. You know, they had a few monumental situations that happened. Some great segments, some segments that kind of made me question some things. But let's go ahead and kick into it because we started it off with CM Punk. You know, CM Punk was out there talking about how he should be the world heavyweight champion, how he should be right in front of everybody, holding the gold, as he should. But how that moment was robbed by Seth Rollins, how Seth Rollins just wants to be like him, how Seth Rollins is him. Now, he also said he can't really knock Seth Rollins because he's done, he's cashed in on a few people himself, done the same strategy. So he understands it. But at the same time, CM Punk now has to walk with this chip on his shoulder with no title, having a championship title reign that was only less than 5 minutes. But then who comes out? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, dummy, yeah. Man, come on, LA Knight. LA Knight comes out, and he comes out and he says, I understand how you feel, Punk. But I feel like when it came to my match, it had nothing to do with you. It was my title shot. You came and interfered. You're the one that caused me to lose via disqualification because you wanted to beat up on Seth. Now, LA Knight says he has a problem, but he also tells him to make sure he stays out of his way when it comes to this title and this title shot. But then, of course, in the midst of the interruption, that man, Paul Heyman with the vision. You see Braun Breaker. You see the tribal thief with the Shula Fava. Okay. You see what they got going on. Okay, Paul Heyman. It starts to tell CM Punk, watch out for Punk and his favors. Because Punk and his favors will put you in a lot of difficult positions, a lot of difficult spots, losing your position in WWE, losing your tribal chief. Almost to the point where this man, Paul, started crashing out. And CM Punk kind of stopped him midway and told him, look, nobody wants to hear what you're talking about. Nobody wants to hear all the stuff about you crying. Somebody's going to have to pay for what's going on. And let's go ahead and make this a match. So, as Paul Heyman would be, the good old oracle that he is, he made this a tag team match main event with CM Punk and LA Knight going up against Braun Breaker and the tribal thief with the Shula Fala himself, Bronson Tsunami Reed. And honestly, this is going to be good. And one other thing, too, LA Knight, telling CM Punk, when he wins the title, that he will be giving Punk a title shot as a favor. I thought that was hilarious. Then we flash forward, oh man, to this chaos right here, okay? With AJ Styles and Dragon Lee going up against Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano. Now, honestly, midway into the match, you know how El Grande is. He got to get that steel plate. Ref is not looking. But then as he's trying to, get everything attached on, he gets knocked. He gets hit. Okay? At that point, that steel plate falls down. But Dirty Dom takes that same plate, puts it to his mask, and headbutts AJ Styles. Man, this was crazy. To the point where El Grande Americano gets the roll-up pin, holding the tights, and it's Dirty Dom and El Grande Americano getting that dub. Then we flash forward to Sami Zayn and Rusev. Now, honestly, this was a match to help him get his title shot for the World Heavyweight Championship. I said, man, come on, Sam. How many times you going to keep trying to get this title? It was interesting because Adam Pearce told Sami Zayn, well, if you win this match, we can talk. Let's talk about a few things. But that didn't happen. There was no talking for you, Adam Pearce, whether for Sami Zayn, because the MFTs came around and they pulled Sami out. Tonga, okay, Tongaloa, Solo, and my man Jeff Cobbs, not calling him JC, beat the hell out of Sami. And Tonga, I mean, getting that crazy big dude on Sami Zayn actually gave him like a little bit of a sting of a puffer on his eye. So that was pretty crazy. But we'll see what happens later on because that man Solo was looking more than just Solo. Then we flash forward to this chaos because after that, when Solo leaves, yeah, Rusev comes in and starts to beat the hell out of Rusev. And then Sheamus and Rusev start fighting again and battling it out outside. Man, chaos, but that was greatness right there. Then we flash forward to, man, this banger, Io Sky and Roxanne Perez. Now, the interesting thing, okay, the Kabuki Warriors walked up to Io Sky and they said, hey, we can be out there if you need backup. We're here. We got you. Io said, nah, I got this. Thanks, but no thanks. Asuka, I ain't gonna lie, Asuka's been looking a little sus for some of these situations, only from how she's been looking in the parent. Okay.
Good in those jeans, though. I'm sorry.
All
Continue.
right.
My fault. Continue. Continue. My fault.
So all right. So then, with them trying to help Io Sky, Roxanne Perez, literally knocks Io Sky into Asuka and Kairi Sane, with Kairi Sane, and Asuka just getting hit, getting knocked out. And then Roxanne Perez getting the pin, the roll-up pin on Io Sky. And to the point where even after that match, after that happened, Io Sky's backstage. She even asked Asuka and Kairi, why'd you even come back here? Why'd you help? I told you I didn't need you. Asuka just crashed out and walked off. Okay? That was crazy. But then we flash forward to this right here, man. Look, Maxine Dupree and the man, Becky Lynch. Now, I'm not even gonna lie, man. It's to the point where it comes to Raw, I genuinely enjoy seeing Becky Lynch. Like, this is good. I mean, we all knew this wasn't gonna be a match that Maxine was gonna win, but at the end of the day, she did the best she could. But we knew what it was gonna be for the man, and of course, she gets the dub, making Maxine tap. That's what the man does. Funny thing, even after that, Bayley even cut a promo. Okay, be aware of that. Something about Bayley. Oh yeah, she's about to turn. Then we flash forward to this main event of a match, man. CM Punk and LA Knight going up against the Vision, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Tsunami Reed, the Tribal Thief, the owner of the Shula Fala. Honestly, this match was becoming a banger, but of course, who do you got to have intercede and intercept in this match? Or should I say intercept in this match? Because Seth Rollins,
sir.
Yeah. Got to kill him with that. So, Seth Rollins comes, interferes. This ends in a DQ. But if it wouldn't be Seth, if Seth wasn't doing the best that he could, because, of course, Adam Pearce comes out. And he's saying, he sees a few people. Of course, Jey Uso tried to come out and even the odds. But he says, let's make this a match of Clash of Pairs. Let's do CM Punk, LA Knight versus Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. So now we're looking at a fatal four-way match at Clash of Paris. And honestly, then LA Knight, CM Punk immediately, LA Knight didn't waste no time. Okay, Jey Uso tried to pull LA Knight off, but the Vision doing what they do best, coming in, wrecking shop, because if y'all ain't on one accord, I'm going to tell you right now, the Vision is, and they beat the hell out of all three of those men. Look at Seth doing this to Punk. Okay, you see the Shula Fowler. You see the Tribal Thief. This man got his finger in CM Punk's mouth. Craziness. And then, of course, Seth telling CM Punk, you will never see this title as long as I'm holding it and as long as I'm around. And, of course, Seth hitting CM Punk with that curb stomp. And honestly, it's in the end. Looking strong with the title. And this is the finish right here. I ain't gonna lie, man. This was a pretty interesting Raw, man. Look, a few things I got to talk about. My man, first of all, LA Knight, okay? It'd be criminal if I ain't talking about my man, LA Knight. Look, killed it on the mic. Yo, my man's got valid reasons, valid points here. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Seeing LA Knight in the mix, in the shuffle with Seth, gives me a little bit of hope. Not the most, but a little bit. That being said, we throw Jey Uso in there for the Fatal 4-Way? Like, come on. I mean, I get it. Okay, you had Jey Uso, helping Seth, I'm sorry, you had Jey Uso helping LA Knight, CM Punk. But because he's out there, let's just give Jey Uso a title. This man, okay, granted, yes, he got his ass whooped by the Vision a couple of times, not recently. Okay, Jey Uso did well, and then at the same time, yes, he did have the match at SummerSlam with Roman Reigns. Yes, I get that. Why couldn't we just do a triple threat? I would have been okay with LA Knight, CM Punk, and Seth. But we're adding Jey Uso. I don't got no problem with Jey. I love the Yeet Man, okay? But I think this was one he could have sat out for. Personally. I just think, we done put Jey Uso in a lot of title matches, title shots. I ain't really title shots, but just big matches. We know he's main event Jey Uso. But let my man LA Knight get that shine just for a little bit by himself. I just feel like he deserves a little bit more. That being said, a couple things I also got to talk about too. Hey, Bronson Reed. Man, look, the tribal thief, Shula Fala. Look, I've been saying this. I'm saying this right now. So the first time you took two of Roman's J's. Cool. Now, I need to start taking everybody else's shoes. Take them all. If you're going to be the Shula Fala, make a collection. This has got to be like the wall of pain. I need to see a collection. I need to see Rex with the shoes just all on them, and then you put a little tape with their name on it. This is Romans right here. Yeah,
make sure you put the date on there too.
Yeah, man.
I took these shoes. I took these shoes August the 12th, 2025.
I'm telling, man, that would cook. That would cook, man. I just think that tribal thief would just that name, the tribal thief and the Shula Fire. I think it would elevate it. But again, I think Raw was a solid show. Love to see again Becky Lynch, the man, doing what she does best. I love it. She's killing it. No problem there. Io and Rio, though, interesting thing. What are we doing with them? So we're gonna take Io away from the Kabuki Wars from Damage Control, and we're gonna make Io and Rhea a tag team. Is that what we're doing? You're having Rhea tell Io, I don't really feel so comfortable. I don't know if you can trust them. What?
Crazy word.
You saying that to the women she been with for the last 2 years? All of a sudden now you can't trust them. Okay, all right, whatever. Say what you want to say, but I don't know, man. I think I love Io and Rhea's love their chemistry, but I just think them as a tag team, if this is what we're gonna do, we're just forcing another tag team again. We'll see what happens. Heartbreak Chris, so what are your thoughts, man? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I think what they have going on with Seth Rollins and LA Knight and CM Punk, I think that's good. I'm listening to what you were just talking about with Jey Uso and him being inserted, and I can't help but play back in my head, kind of like Unreal and how Hunter interacted with Jey Uso and some of the things that he would talk to Jey Uso about, like make sure you gotta get your wind up. You gotta get your wind up. And it's like at this point they push Jey Uso and now they don't really know what to do with him now that he's not the champion. And so they still want to try to insert him into these championship matches, which I don't know if I necessarily have a problem with, but at the same time, I do believe you're right. I don't know if it really fits specifically for this specific matchup. And maybe the triple threat probably would have been the better go. I just don't think and know if they really have a story that they need to tell or are trying to tell Jey Uso at this point, right? Gunther's gone, or at least he's not the champion. I don't think Jey Uso really has a whole lot of beef per se. I guess if you want to use Roman Reigns, but I don't know. They need to figure that out when it comes to Jey Uso, what they want to do next with him. I feel like he lost the title and they didn't really have a plan of what to do next with him, and so he's been inserted into stuff like this.
Mhm.
My favorite part of Raw, and I mean, just overall, was just the El Grande Americano stuff. Like I'm digging that. I love that match. I love how Dirty Dom ended up getting the metal plate and sticking it in his mask and using it against AJ Styles. I like the fact that we have multiple El Grande Americanos, and we've been saying for years now that that it was not Chad Gable, and we're showing it's very evident and proof that there's multiple El Grande Americanos, and if the WWE is smart, they can build a whole story for a championship, preferably maybe the Intercontinental title, whatever, of who the real El Grande Americano is, and have it culminate in some type of, I see a ladder match where they're climbing to attain the title, maybe. Or if you don't even want to do it for a title, put the El Grande Americano mask, hanging from the rafters.
And they're climbing. Put the metal piece up there.
Put the metal plate up there. They're climbing to find out who's the real El Grande Americano. But I don't know. I don't know when it comes to like Raw and just WWE product this week. Between Raw and SmackDown, I feel like they're starting to do the same things on replay, and I think that's starting to kind of grind on me a little bit. Like every week we see Rusev and
Sheamus,
and Sheamus going like fighting. It's like this is like 4 weeks in a row now. And it's like, okay,
where we actually?
Like it's just the same stuff on repeat, and it's like I want to see like other people, other players, involved. Other like I want to see like stories progressing but they're progressing, but they're not progressing necessarily with the same matches over and over and over. For instance, you could have Rusev facing somebody else, and we still know that he has beef with Sheamus. Maybe Sheamus comes out at the end of the match and beats up on Rusev, or vice versa. But they're in a match with somebody different, or with Seth Rollins and the Vision. Like you got this beef with CM Punk, but LA Knight is in here some way, shape, or form. You have something going where maybe Seth Rollins is facing somebody completely different, not CM Punk, not can't think of, I just lost the name, LA Knight. And like, I don't know, like we I don't know. I just feel like we're getting the same stuff, like Braun Breaker, Bronson Tsunami Reed. They come out every week. They're generally going to beat up either CM Punk, they're going to beat up LA Knight, and if what's the name is the Roman Reigns is on the show, they're going to beat him up. And it's like, what are we doing with the Vision? Like, what type of control are they getting ready to take over Raw? Like, I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something is telling me like the product, like something, even with SmackDown, I got the same vibe of like, man, they're running this stuff on repeat. It's like there's no creative mindset of like putting like different players, getting different players involved into different matches. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but El Grande Americano, that was definitely the highlight of the night for me, because I'm just so used at this point of seeing CM Punk coming out. He's going to say something. He's going to be interrupted by the Oracle and the Vision. Seth Rollins is going to come out. He's going to laugh, talk about how smart he is. And then, Bronson Reed is going to act like he wants to like destroy somebody, and Seth is trying to hold him back. It's like the same thing on repeat. And I don't know. I hope Hunter and them find something creative, find something that they can kind of spice this up just a little bit. And I don't know if it's because some of your other hitters aren't there, like Roman Reigns is not on the show constantly or consistently, so you don't really have a way to avenue to go with that. Again, Jey Uso, that leaves him out of limbo because he really has no fit into this story right now. But creative will figure it out, I'm sure. That's my diatribe of the mouth. I don't know what to say about it. It's just something about this week of Raw and SmackDown just felt like, man, this stuff is on repeat. Like they're doing the same things every week.
Yeah, no, I feel you, because I didn't feel genuinely excited. Like we talked about it on Nighttime a few days ago about how we felt about Dynamite. I said, Dynamite, when we watched AEW, My smile was constant. There was not one time I said, no. I constantly had a smile on my face, and I just did not feel that way with Raw or SmackDown this week neither.
Yeah, and to AEW's credit, that's they don't use the same matches over and over and over and over and over. Like they every week, like they have wrestlers going with different groups or different things, whatever. But in WWE, it's either going to be a feud, and then between that feud, they're gonna pair them up and make them fight in a tag team match at some point. So LA Knight has beef with Seth Rollins. You know what? You two are going to tag team against some other, and it's like, all right. And then after that, it's going to break down. And it's going to be an issue there. Or hey, if all of y'all are fighting, it's going to be a fatal 3-way, or it's going to be a fatal 4-way. It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff.
I think that's something they're definitely going to have to fix. You can't, like I said, and I have, y'all know me. I'm think I'm gonna have to start doing definitely better watching AEW. I do watch highlights, and from what I've seen on the highlights and watching some nighttime, I'm just like, bro, they're cooking right now. Yeah, and I know I need to jump on it a little bit more, because especially after I saw I was at Stokely try to spear Edge, and I was like, okay, all right. So, and it's so funny because and shout out to my man Stokely, because he done got over, just on the greatest, short man promo of all time. I mean,
I'm sure. I don't get any holes.
Don't get any holes.
And then Edge proceeds to go in there and ask the crowd, "Would you give this man a shot?" And they're like, "No, he didn't." No, sorry, young lady. Look.
She said, is this a serious question?"
Yeah, you're not my cup of tea. And then he asked the crowd, he's like, "Hey, are there any hoes here?" Then she raised her hand.
Actually cheered.
And they cheered. And she's like, "Hi, I'm here." And no, I would not give him time. I was like, what type of stuff? But that's funny. So shout out to Stokely for getting this push right here, man. I thought that was really cool. But that brings up a good point where you could tell the creativity between the shows, or at least the variety that they're giving you on a week-to-week basis, is definitely different. Watching, you said a good point where you kind of know what's going to happen and how it kind of is going to unfold, and that part I don't like, because sometimes WWE be cooking and they're clicking, and I think right now they're in a dead period. They're just trying to get to Survivor Series, in my opinion. Right. They're just trying to, push through and get to the next big event. Yes, I know Clash in Paris is coming, which they're going to try to make an extremely big thing. Another reason why they probably put Jey Uso in this match. But I think also Jey Uso is in this match to take the pin. There's the only reason why he's in this match. He's in this match to take the pin, because they don't want to kill CM Punk's momentum. Yep. They don't want to kill LA Knight's momentum, because LA Knight's already taken a couple pins that he probably shouldn't have taken over the last couple of months. And they can't afford to have him take it again. Now, Jay, on the other hand, Jay's been a world champion. He doesn't have anything really to gain. He's only really there for two things: to take the pin and get that big pop when he comes out for the fans in Paris. And I don't dislike Jey Uso. Y'all know how I'm cool with Jay, but that's what he's here for in this match. He's here to take the pin. He's here to get a great crowd reaction in the beginning, because he is the number one selling merch in the world. Right. He's in that top 2, top 3. So you got to get him in there in some form of the fashion. But I agree with you guys. It doesn't make sense to really have him in this match. It could have just been better as a 3-way. But when I saw I was like, how did Jey Uso get in this match? I'm like, okay. Whatever. So that part is very interesting to me on how they are going to kind of portray all of that. The Shula Fowler.
Come on now.
What can we say about Bronson Reed? I think it's amazing, because just imagine how much money he has around his neck right now. Oh yeah, we're talking about Roman Reigns. We're talking about Roman Reigns worn Jays that he has, and more than one. And so there's a lot of money that he's rocking around his neck. That's not just anything. Like, if he went and said, "I'm going to sell these," he's going to make quite the penny off of both of those two shoes. So, hey, Bronson, keep doing your thing, man. I still like overall what they kind of have going on with the vision, but they do need more. I don't know if at some point they become tag team champions, but something has to kind of like give. I mean, in order for Tim to make the vision where they needed to be. And at some point, I do think they still need to add one more person. So that part is also going to be intriguing because it has to be the right person when they decide to do it. So there's still a lot of intrigue. You know, you're still going to watch it because you need to see where they're going with the storyline. But I don't know. They just got to fix that. Now, I want to give a shout out to AAA last night. I watched.
Yeah, man.
I didn't get to see it. Yeah.
I watched Micro Man.
Hey, bits and pieces of the show were hilarious. So I know, Elwood, you haven't watched it, so I don't want to give too much. But 3 highlights because the Americano and Dirty Dom, along with Valkyrie. I'm saying his name wrong.
Vikingo.
I caught a little bit of Vikingo.
Yeah, so that was a great match. And then, the phenomenal one pops up. Thought that was a really cool twist onto that. So great match. But Micro Man and Omos, my Lord. Why? That video has not, look, it's so funny. It popped on my feed last night. And every time I turn around, it's on there. The funniest thing I've ever seen. Bro,
it's like talking to the baby.
Bro, when he turned around and he was trying to figure out, hey man, what's tapping me? He had no clue. He just Omos just looking around and then peeking, and then my man looked down and then he bounced off the ropes and he took that size 80 foot and put it in his chest. I said, okay, this is child abuse. And I don't understand why it's happening. But no, it was great. When Finn came out and him and Mr. Iguana, that's all I'm gonna say because I want you to be able to see it.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. So shout out. I know some people they're ruining AAA. I thought it was a really nice blend of kind of everything that they, incorporating a little bit of WWE stars, but not going over the top with it. I love seeing Omos back because I think that hopefully is going to translate to him getting on one of these rosters here soon and finally coming back to the United States and being the big monster that he can be. He's gotten over in Japan. He was over in Mexico last night. Let's show Omos some love. I just want to throw that in for AAA real quick. And then last thing, Oscar, girl. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Oscar, Kabuki Warriors for life up in here, baby. That's all I'm saying. But overall, Raw was probably maybe a high C+. Maybe a
very
B+,
high C,
depending on how you feel.
Very high C, and I ain't talking to Jews.
Yeah,
thanks. Yeah, man. Speaking of shout outs, hey, shout out to Zach, always giving us the national days of everything.
Zach
what's the new one? What we got this?
We got National Pineapple Juice.
Come on, boy.
Get your
Zach, you're the man.
Get your man.
Consistent. That's what I'm talking about, Zach. We can always count on you.
The Zach attack is underway.
Hey, man.
Shout out to that man. That man is on.
Shout out Zach.
Man, that man is on nighttime. We appreciate you always coming on.
Shout out to Zach, baby.
Oh man.
Shout out to Zach.
Yeah, man. But we talked about some of the, I can't even say the great things. We talked about some of the high C things that happened on Monday Night Raw. So now it's time to talk about my man Shawn Michaels cooking it up with NXT, baby. Man, that beat always go crazy. Go ahead, Drew.
My man, Drew.
So it's the bam, bam. It's that bounce. It's the bounce. Oh man, hey Shawn, you cooked up. We tell you this all the time, Shawn. We've been telling you this for months. We've been saying this for a year now. It's kind of crazy thinking about it. We've been saying this for a year, Shawn. You have consistently kept this bar. Okay, either good or great. Either great or perfect.
That's right.
Okay.
Good or great. Never below. It's either good
never below
or great. Never below.
Never below. And honestly, they kicked this show off with an immediate banger. Okay. Lash Legends, Nia Jax. Okay. They had a phenomenal match. I mean, Lash Legends showing the strength, showing the power. How we got here. Okay. Nia Jax was on the top, on the top of the corner rope. Okay. Lash was setting up for a power bomb. Okay, almost had her to walking off, but Nia Jax grabs the ropes and hits. She hits her finisher, man. I ain't gonna lie, that was devastating. And then did it again. Got the pin on Lash Legends, and honestly, again, the crowd went crazy. Of course, you know how the NXT crowd is; they go crazy. Shout out to my man J Movie Mania, one of the regulars that's over there in the NXT crowd. They killed it though, man. They were killing it. And honestly, this was a banger of a match. But then we flash forward to this man Charlie Dempsey, having Ren Sinclair with him on the side, and that man that you have to believe in, Joe Hendry, man. And this was another good match starting off as well. Banger. I love what Joe Hendry's doing, man. And this is funny. Some people think Joe Hendry's coming off a little creepy, though. They say, one minute Joe Hendry's coming out of a locker, and then he's coming out of a refrigerator. What is next for Joe Hendry to come out of? I don't know.
But see, that's what though, E. That's because they don't know his TNA stuff. And if they saw him in TNA, he was doing way worse stuff than what he's doing on the NXT. Is getting introduced to come out of nowhere, Joe Hendry. So you're welcome. So I'll go back and watch out come out of nowhere, Joe Hendry on TNA, people.
There you go. And then look at Red, man. I think to the point now with Charlie Dempsey losing, hey, I think Charlie about to be a lonely man, man. There's one thing, when the fellas leave you, but when you lose in front of your shorty, and that's not even in person. Okay. This is the looks that you get right here. She starts to question your manhood. She starts to question your relationship. She starts to question, why are we even together if you can't even fight for yourself? That's the look that Ren gave Charlie. And I felt that. I said, man, this is sad, man. I don't know. This ain't looking good. I think Joe about to get him some of Ren soon, so we'll see what happens with that.
Hey, Ren's a little cutie, man. I mean,
hey, Ren got a lot of potential, man. I really like her character work she's doing, man. It's good stuff. Let me flash forward to, Inamura, man. I ain't gonna lie. They kind of shocked me with this. Inamura and Josh Briggs, man. They was kind of talking, having their promo battles. Josh was telling Inamura he don't really have what it takes. Inamura saying, I've always had what it takes. I just want to do it with honor. And then to the point where Josh Briggs starts throwing hands with Inamura, and honestly, it got crazy. To the point where Inamura was actually beating the hell out of Josh Briggs and hit his cannonball from outside of the ring with him and a few other, good old security guards, which we know is the future WWE superstar.
LFG superstars.
Yeah, man. Then we flash forward to Fatal Influence, man. Look, they was cutting a promo backstage. Fallon was talking for a little bit. JC Jane sitting there talking. She's talking about how, she's ready for the pressure. She can do this. She's been made for this. Everybody wants to call her the most beatable champion. And she's the one that's literally overcoming it all. But then Fallon tells JC Jane to look. JC wasn't trying to hear nothing. And then we see Masha Slamovich. We're seeing Ash by Elegance walking backstage. And of course, it starts to raise some eyebrows, starts to question some things as to what are they doing there. But you know what they're doing there for, Jason. Now, this was interesting. Okay. Laney Reed, okay, last few weeks in the kind of, walking up to JC Jane. Okay, you're saying good luck. You're constantly kind of making Jasmine Nix look like she's a jobber. Okay, you're making her look like she's an embarrassment. Funny thing is, you was the first one and the only one to say that she was the most beatable champion. But now all of a sudden you in JC's face? Question. Sus. JC better watch out, because I ain't gonna lie. Shorty might be coming for you. Then we flash forward to this tag team match, okay, with Fatal Influence and Lola Vice. Okay, Fatal Influence going up against Lola Vice and my girl, Lonnie, man. Look, now this was an interesting match. Now, what was going on, a lot of, interference was going on. And of course, Jasmine Nix trying to get into the middle of it. But of course, when the ref got his head turned, Lola Vice hits JC Jane with that spinning backhand, okay? And then Kalani doing that frog, doing oh my goodness.
I know what it is. We know what it was.
I'm like thinking to myself, I know it's Rob Van Dam. Anyway, she hits her moonsault and gets the dub. And of course, at the end of the match, Lola's telling Lonnie, hey, look, it was my backhand that got her. But Lonnie's like, but I got the pin. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to see what happens with this. Sean, I believe in you. I ain't got a question what you do. Then we flash forward to Alba Fire going up against Kendall Gray. And of course, another banger for the women's, man. Look, honestly, this was good. I love how they had my man Ethan Page out there with Chelsea Green and the Secret Harvest. They're out here just, trying to throw in some support. This is actually completely hilarious. I never would have thought Ethan Page, Chelsea Green together was a good pairing.
Magic.
But they have made magic. And then right after this match, you had Tavion Heights came out, tried to interrupt their celebration. And he was saying how, you can sit there telling Ethan Page, you can sit there with this North American champion with this Canadian flag, but I'm American. This is a North American champion. And also, I know somebody else that can also help as well. And then
y'all see Chunky Triple H back there?
Yeah,
look at Chunky Triple H. Okay, all right.
Look at that. He might be able to write better than Triple H right now. Who knows?
Triple X. Continue. I'm sorry.
But then as soon as Tavion Heights says that, who do we get? That girl, Tyra May Steele. Okay. Literally, you want to talk about German suplex City? Yeah, she suplexed Alba Fire. She suplexed that girl, Piper Niven. And then Ethan Page tries to run out. And of course, then she suplexes Ethan Page. German suplex. I mean, looking good, looking strong. Now I wonder how, Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele are going to be. Maybe they're going to be a new group. Who knows? Maybe Tavion Heights is going to start up his own new crew. Maybe the U.S. Olympic crew. I have no idea. But I don't know. Just at the end of this, they're just chanting USA, USA. I said, all right, okay, whatever. I don't know. But it might be good. So I'm not going to knock it. Tyra May Steele's been doing a lot of stuff on Evolve. So we'll see what happens. And we flash forward. Jordan Grace. Okay. Oh, my fault. I done went past a little part right here. I was sitting there looking at some other stuff. So even after the backstage promo, okay, Chelsea Green and Ethan Page are back here trying to figure out how they can stop Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele. Chelsea Green says, let's start up a peace treaty. Ethan Page said he can talk to his people to talk to the Canadian board, and they can get set up for next week. I said, y'all kidding? Y'all are crazy. So they're trying to do this peace treaty between Canada and America, and hopefully we'll see where this leads. I can only imagine, and knowing these two here together, this is probably going to be magic. Then we flash forward to Jordan Grace, okay, having a promo, talking about, just her climb, her come up, how she was in TNA, what it was like when she was a, bigger size, when she was trying to get down to the prime size that she's at now. And just the portrayal from Blake Monroe, okay? Then we flash forward to Blake Monroe, okay, talking to Ava. Ava tells Blake, yeah, you said all this stuff, you did all this stuff with Jordan. Well, guess what? Now it's about to be a face-to-face between you and her before you guys have your match at Heatwave. This is going to be interesting. Blake looked like she was shook, scared. I said, come on, Blake. This ain't you. You know who you are. Why are you scared? I get it. It's Jordan Grace. But at the same time, you know who you've beaten. Somebody that's been timeless. Stop playing.
Come on. The best women wrestler in the world? Come on, now. Jordan Grace is nothing compared to her. Nothing.
Come on. You acting like you shook. Man, I ain't got time for this. Then we flash forward to this 8-man tag match. I ain't gonna lie. This was actually a real banger. You want to talk about Fantastic Four? And I ain't talking Reed Richards. Okay. Human Torch. Okay. The Thing. Invisible. I'm talking about these 4 great men right here. I'm talking about Moose. I'm talking about the Ruler. I'm talking about the Young OG. I'm talking about Hollywood Trick. 2-Brand Trick. Man, first class Trick. But Trick, you tricked me. Okay? Because I ain't gonna lie. Y'all was killing it with this match. I mean, Moose hitting spears over, going crazy. Over, even to the point where over Femi, okay, and Moose Javon mid-catch, and Javon hit a double cutter. I said, man, this is a banger here. Okay, but of course, Trick being Trick. He sees Javon. He's looking like he's about to get worked right now. Trick has any and every opportunity to help. Again, mind you, y'all are tag team partners in this match. Why are you not trying to win? But I get it. Trick said, nah, hell no. I'm walking off. And Dark State getting the dub on the young OG. Hey, OG, I'm sorry this happened, man. We don't like to see your son getting like this, man. This ain't good. I don't like that. Hank and Tank, they run out, of course, because they talked to Ava. Ava has something in her eye. They talk about, oh, you told us to attack Dark State? She said, no, I never said that. But they did. And even then, even when they did that, Dark State still beat the hell out of them. And this is the finish right here. Man, NXT, man. Look, I'll tell you right now, this is the show where I do constantly have a smile on my face. Okay, I have a lot of great things to say about this show right here. First of all, first things first, Lash. They are pushing. I'm hoping they are pushing Lash to do more, and I'm loving this. And the funny thing about this week, you see how the push they're giving Lash. Then we go on TNA. You see what's going on, my girl, Miss Sade. Okay, formerly known as Jakara Jackson. She's getting her. I'm not gonna lie, somebody had said it. It might have been you, Mr. Exclusive, but she does give me shades of the Mercedes Moné. I see it. I legitimately see it. I think it's I think it might be the size, the body frame. I'm like, okay, maybe that's what it is. But I'm seeing it. I'm like, yeah, she's got it, man. She's got a whole lot of potential. I can't wait to see what she does. But again, Lash killing it with Nia Jax. I mean, banger, showing off. She really can go in that ring. And if anybody had any doubts about my girl Lash, shut it the hell up now, because that's the big Lash, man. Don't talk about Lash. She did her thing, man. Another thing I really got to talk about, honestly, that was probably one of my favorite parts of the night. Okay, y'all would have thought I would have said Lonnie, but no, I gotta talk about them again. Okay, Moose, the Ruler, great. The young OG, man, this match was a banger, and I really loved everything they did. The promo they did backstage when they were sitting there talking. Okay, Moose over and Javon, they sitting there talking, trying to come up with a plan. Trick want to be on the corner, act like he ain't give a damn, act like he ain't want to hear nothing. I said, come on, Trick, I get it, you Hollywood, but you got a match to do, okay? But this was good. I loved everything they did. The match was incredible. I said, honestly, these four dudes could be in a faction. I'd watch them all the time. Hell, put them up against the Hurt Syndicate. I'm for it. I really enjoyed that match, man. That was really like my favorite part of the night. Again, I got to talk about one last thing. Love to see Kalani and Lola Vice. I love what they did as a tag team. I love what they're doing with Fatal Influence. I love what they're doing this women's division. They're really mixing it up. It's not just, like we talked about from Raw. It ain't just the same person. We're seeing multiple people kind of getting thrown into the mix now. It wasn't just JC Jane with Masha and Ash by Elegance. No, now we're throwing Kalani in it. Now you're throwing Lola. Good. We need to. These are two women that had multiple title opportunities. Of course, with Lonnie being a former North American champion, but Lola never really getting that mid-card title shot. But I like how this is going. So this is good. I really didn't have any complaints about it. I enjoyed it a whole bunch. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
As usual, NXT delivers. I'm a huge Lash Legend fan. That's not anything new. I've been pushing for Lash Legends to get her just due for the longest time, and so it seems like the ball is now in her court, and she's able to have these opportunities to put on these banger matches that she's been doing. This opportunity with Nia Jax is huge for Lash Legends. And so I was so happy to see it, and then to see her deliver in the match the way that she did. Love the way that she took those destroyers. I mean, she has so much potential, so much talent that, I don't know if she's going to like see it all come to fruition here on NXT, or if they're going to plan to move her on to the main roster. But I just hope that whatever wind is at her sails, it keeps, it stays there and she keeps going, because I just want to see, the big Lash getting the just due that she deserves. And so great match that she had with Nia Jax. I love that opportunity for her. You talk about my favorite part of the night, or my favorite match of the night. Of course, when you're talking about Oba the Ruler, you're talking about Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Moose. I love how they paired them together, had them go against this, had them go against Dark State, which we know has just been a nuisance since they, come into the picture. And then I like how they even involved Hank and Tank in there at the end, just throwing that in there of like, that's going to be Hank and Tank's next opponents, I'm sure, is going to be, two people from this faction of Dark State, whoever that may be. So I just like how they continue to build with different wrestlers and characters throughout NXT. And then of course, when you're bringing in the main roster talent, so you're talking about bringing in what's my girl for Secret Service.
Alba Fire. Chelsea Green. My bad.
Chelsea Green. Thank you. No, you're all right.
Man, everybody let her.
Yeah, it's all right. So many wrestlers and names. Trying to keep up with everybody, but yeah, Chelsea Green and pairing her. Yeah, and pairing her, with Ethan Page, and I love seeing that, like that. The whole Canadian connection there. Like, I just, Shawn Michaels does a great job. The Shawn Michaels and the creative team for NXT, they do a phenomenal job just each and every week. I even like what's going on with Dempsey. Like, I know that he's kind of losing everything. Like, so far, what's the two other Osborne and what's the name of?
Yeah, Tavion Heights and
Tavion.
A lot of names. A lot of names.
Yeah, that's a lot of names. Left the faction. It's just all names. They left the faction. It's down to Dempsey, and I'm wondering, like, what story are they getting ready to build from this? Is he going to be able to come back? What character? Like, how is this going to change his character and change who he is? Because of the fact that it's just down to him now, and so like I'm really interested in what they're going to do next with him, as well as what's my boy as well, the has the Brian Pillman son,
Lexus King. Yeah,
Lexus King, thank you. Lexus King, like I know, like, for weeks now, and we've talked about this before, like I've said this before, that I do believe Lexus King, like I think he has a lot of potential, and I think they can really do something with him. And it seems like they were going that route, and then all of a sudden it's now he's losing everything. I don't really quite know. The same thing kind of is happening to Dempsey. So I'm interested in their stories and what's going to happen with them, because I do feel like Lexus King has, star potential. And it's just going to be a matter of like what stories they put him in and how they kind of build his character. Because I like Lexus King. But NXT, they just, like I said, Sean he always seems to have his finger on the pulse of wrestling. He knows how to create these stories week in and week out. And he just does it just right. It gives you just enough, to keep you coming back. And it's just amazing. Like, and I don't know if it's because this is all he has to focus on, his attention on. It's not split between two different brands, of Raw and a SmackDown. So, you can be more, direct and be more like in the moment with NXT, and have your finger on all the different characters and how they need to grow and how they need to be presented, and whatever that reason is, Sean seems to do it very well with NXT, and like I said, their shows every week deliver, and it's always exciting to watch because you're going to get something special from NXT shows.
Yeah. So, and it's funny, like we talked a little bit last week about Lexus King and
Charlie Dempsey.
And I, when I said last week, I still mean it. They have to pull whatever. I know that they try to build out on their own, but it's okay. It is okay for you to steal some of your father's momentum. Everybody else does it. Everybody else does it. I feel like Dempsey has the talent to maybe be a different version of his father, but maybe still the character, maybe not take his whole thing, but use part of his style to kind of build what he can be. Because he has the look, like he has the look of a brawler, just somebody that just goes out there and just mean, just a nasty individual, and that's what I want to see from him. Lexus
and
King,
Regal was that dude,
and
Regal was good, man. Like, William Regal was awesome.
Give me beat up Goldberg for 8 minutes, Regal for him, just give me that rugged, just nasty, don't care about who's in his way. I think that's what he needs. He can still be himself, but just have
that would be a nice
streak.
touch to his character. That really would be.
Right. And then with King, I same thing. His dad, like I feel like his dad was insane. Like when people think about Brian Pillman, yes, they think about the great Brian Pillman from WCW that tagged with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but most fans will remember insane, crazed Brian Pillman when he was with the Heart Foundation. Like, hey, Lexus, you don't have to do that, but in something in that mix. And like I said, I understand trying to get away from your father's legacy and want to be able to do your own thing, but all I'm saying is just think about it, fellas. Just think about it. JC Jane, first of all, I want to give her a shout out for this. Rocking the Shawn Michael glasses from 1994. So shout out to her for that. And then my girl, with the cow mink coat. Nobody rocks cow mink like Fallon does, Come
on now.
American Trish Stratus. So shout out to her for that. But I love everything overall with what they're doing with the women's championship division, because this is another example of how NXT has been able to put so many different angles that now JC Jane has to worry about multiple people, and they keep calling her the most beatable champion, yet she has 2 titles. Make it make sense. But I love that for her, because now everybody and their mama is like, oh, I could beat her. But now you got Jada Parker and them coming after her, and then you have, well, wait a minute, hold up, now you got Marsha Slamovich, and she's over here talking about, wait a minute, what about me? And then you got homegirl that pulled up in this picture, she's pulling up. So they got multiple people. Then you got Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace, who are mad at each other, but we all know that the real reason why they're mad is because they want that title. So it's you got multiple angles, and they've kind of set themselves up for months. If you really think about it, you got 4 or 5 different angles, and you got 4 or 5 challengers for her, down the road here. And she's got 2 titles, so she could lose one of those titles and still be okay. And that's not even including Ash by Elegance, or my girl from TNA. So you got that's what I'm saying. She's got different people from all angles that are trying to fight her. So it gives you something like, okay, well, who's next on this train? Who out of this group is actually gonna be the person that takes the title from her at that time? So it's good job, giving me something to look forward to in the women's division. Joe Hendry, Joe Hendry, I think it feels like Joe Hendry is about to make the complete switch to NXT. If it hasn't happened on the low, because they haven't really announced. I think he's still doing TNA stuff. I think the contract may still be going on, but I think they're beginning to set the TNA fans up on what made people fall in love with Joe Hendry on TNA. And I think they're trying. That's why you see he's popping out of nowhere. That was his thing. That was his thing on TNA. I mean, he did some classic ones. My favorite one he ever did was when him and AJ Francis were talking. Oh no, AJ Francis was talking about Joe Hendry, and the announcer was like, she just said his name, and then AJ Francis was like, why would you say that? And then she clapped twice, and he was there, and I was like, that's great. So, and that was what made the character great. So I think that's what we're going to get on NXT here for the next couple of months, as they slowly, put him into the NXT world. So I love that. I love that for him. Ethan Page and Chelsea Green. What else can I say? What else can I say? And y'all know how I feel about Chelsea Green. We talk about it hey, Chelsea Green needs to win the Rumble this year. And I'm saying it now. Put I don't care which one it is, put one of them on Chelsea Green. Now. She needs a title right now. You can give her the U.S. title back. I'm cool with that. Doesn't make sense for her to have the Hervis and not have the title so she can protect it. She should still be U.S. champion as we speak. No hate to Julie. No hate, but she should still be U.S. champion right now. But I digress. She needs to win the Rumble. That needs to happen. And, then Dark State, doing Dark State things. I think the tag team division we talked about a couple weeks ago, it needs a boost. I don't know if this is the boost, but them being able to get a victory over those 4 gentlemen who are all 4, world championship caliber. And yes, a little bit of Trick Williams not knowing what he got going on. That's all fine and dandy. But I love what they did. I love how they were able to still kind of tell the story about these 4 guys having beef and then looking dominant at points, but also giving Dark State that push. So Shawn Michaels, hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's either
Cooking
Very
it
nice.
below.
Very nice.
good or it's great.
Yeah.
Never below.
Never below.
Never below.
And if you ever are below, Sean, we will tell you.
That's one, but you get a couple free passes because it's always either good or great.
Because you're extremely consistent. So we might give you a one pass.
Yeah. You would have to do bad for like a month, and I'm like, hey man, what's going on? We would have a like intervention. I'm like, hey Sean, you need to talk.
Yeah. There's no way I'm dependent on the main roster to keep you like that.
You sick? Something going on? Because if it is, man, let me know, man. Like we here for you. Like we'll help out.
Yeah, Sean. You got because you got us. That's just
right. Exactly.
Oh man, but we talked about some of the great things with Shawn Michaels cooking up with NXT. Now it's time to talk about the repeat of the end of the week, and we're going to talk about that in a second.
Hey, that was slick.
We're going to start it off with the repeat of the end of the week with Friday Night Smackdown.
That's great.
Well, we're here. This is where we're at. We're at SmackDown now, and y'all know, Heartbreak Prince, you made a great point. It's very, very repeat, very on repeat, very, just I don't know, man. This is because there was some stuff there was some stuff they even repeated. They even put on highlights on YouTube. And we're going to talk about that in a second as well. But let's go ahead and talk about how they kicked it off with this show, man. Because they kicked it off with good old Solo, talking about everything that's been going on with him, stomping everybody getting stomped out. He said, Jimmy Uso, stomped out. Jacob Fatu, stomped out. Reminded me of when the Usos did their lockdown promo, okay? You still doing stuff from your brothers, boy. You ain't slick. Look. And the funny thing is, Sami Zayn comes out, okay? He says, that he deserves a title shot. He said even all this time he's been worrying about getting to the World Heavyweight Champion, getting to the World Champion, being a World Champion. But he says the only title he hasn't held is the U.S. title. And the fact that he's beaten Solo, that he deserves a title shot. Solo wasn't hearing that because why? The MFT started to beat the hell out of Sami Zayn. I mean, beating the brakes off of this man. To the point to where, of course, Big Jim had to come out and help Sammy. And at that point, they're still trying to beat the hell out of Sammy and beat the hell out of Big Jim. But then, of course, that man, Jacob Fatu, is coming around. I mean, honestly, at this point, you see how it is. You see how they even the odds. Jacob Fatu helping Sammy and Jimmy. And, of course, this leads us into the main event with a 6-man tag team match. So we'll see what happens. And then we flash forward to Alexa Bliss going up against Piper Niven. Now, this was also another good match. Charlotte being outside the ring, thought she really held her own when it came to really just selling that attack from the Secret Harvest. Because the Secret Harvest beat the hell out of Charlotte Flair. I mean, beat the hell out of Charlotte Flair. And they look good. The Secret Harvest did. They look good beating the hell out of Charlotte. And this was actually really solid of a match. But then we talk about something solid, something that had a lot of momentum. Man, come on. Mello, Miz, and Fraxium. Now, of course, they were in Boston. They were in Boston this week for SmackDown. So that's the hometown for Carmelo Hayes. Now, I'm starting to kind of think when it comes to and this might be a crazy accusation. I'm starting to think when it comes to these light-skinned people being from Boston, sometimes in WWE, it don't always work out for you. And I say that because I'm talking about my girl Mercedes as well. So I'm hoping Carmelo ain't in that same boat. But the crowd was so behind Melo that they started chanting, "We want Melo. We want Melo." I mean, even when he was in the match, he started getting worked a little bit, but they were still behind Melo the whole time. Even to the point when Melo started getting so much offense, they were going crazy. And he was just about to hit his finisher, and The Miz tags himself in. And man, hits his finisher on Nathan Frazier. And honestly, not gonna lie, I was genuinely upset for Melo. So was the crowd. But I think this might be something. So we just gotta be hopeful for it. Then we flash forward for a man that prays to the prayer warrior himself, Drew McIntyre, man. Look,
Prayer warrior go crazy.
the prayer warrior, man. Look, this man really just talked a whole promo saying that he's not the one that attacked Cody. He even went back to the crime scene. He said, well, let's go back to the crime scene. I mean, Drew really killed this promo. Honestly, just made me laugh. I was hoping he was going to talk about how he was praying, but he told Cody he's waiting for him. He's waiting. And I think this is going to be good for Cody. This is good for him. This is good for Drew. And honestly, I'm just glad to see Drew in the main title picture. Then we flash forward to this right here, man. This was another banger of a tag team match. DIY and the Street Profits having a banger as always. B-Fab outside, Candice LeRae on the outside. You know, Candy wrestling. Y'all know what it is with that. I mean, first of all, Candice LeRae. First of all, your husband throws you off of a ladder. Hey, that's love. That's love, boy. That's love. If you slow like that, that's love, boy.
That's love.
Because anything could have went wrong, but she got that one, boy. But I mean, this was a banger of a match. A lot of times you've seen at points in time of some of these matches, you would see somebody from the Wyatt Six, whether it wasn't Uncle Howdy, but you'd see Eric Rowan. You might see Dexter Loomis. A couple of times we've seen what's my other name? Other dude's name. My goodness. Dexter Loomis. We've seen Dexter Loomis. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we know who he is. He's insane. He's the other
Some guy.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but you're seeing them at times in the crowd. You've seen them a few times backstage. So they kind of played a few things with the Wyatt Six, but seeing
Joe
DIY.
Gacy.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Joe Gacy. A few times backstage, even when the MFTs were backstage, you're seeing them kind of crowding around, and Tala Tonga was kind of looking around, and they couldn't tell what was going on. They felt something, but they didn't know what it was. But it was the Y6 creeping around and watching. But this is going to be interesting. We'll see what happens with the tag team division. Then we flash forward to the main event. Okay, Sami Zayn, Big Jim, and the man with the magic boot, the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob 5-2, going up against the MFTs, and honestly, them getting the dub over the MFTs, looking good. Jacob, even backstage, was telling Sami, I don't know if I trust you, but look, when it comes to Sami, it seemed like he's always invited to the cookout. He's always invited into the family. Sami's always in it. Jacob being cool with Sami, and this is the finish right here. Woo! Now, I know what y'all are probably thinking. Well, Eric, why didn't you talk about the Jade and Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax segment? You think I want to waste my time talking about that BS?
No.
Now, one or two things that's the reason why I didn't put it on there. For one, you can tell WWE didn't care because they didn't put it on the highlights on YouTube. So that tells you something. Okay? I couldn't get pictures for it if I wanted to. Even that point. Okay? I really said to myself, what are we doing again with Tiffany Stratton? We're gonna throw again with Nia Jax. Why? It ain't human nature. I'm gonna tell you that. This is ridiculous. I'm to the point now, like, Jade is telling Tiffany, I would have had you beat. I had you beat. I said, Jade, come on. We're beating a dead horse right now. I can't keep doing this with them.
Right. Somebody got to turn heel, bro. Like one of the two of them it's got to give here.
Why are we seeing the same three women in the mix? There are way more women on the roster. If you don't feel like you got enough, come on. If you don't got enough, you better pick some from Raw because you put a bunch of banger women on Raw. Oh, but you got Lashley doing stuff with Nia Jax. Throw her asses on SmackDown. Throw her in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing absolutely nothing when it comes to the women's division on SmackDown. And this is a travesty. Now, the U.S. title situation with Julia, she's trying to do some stuff. Kiana James walked up to Tiffany Stratton, said, hey, look, take my card if you need somebody to represent you. I said, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But, even with Kiana James, why isn't Kiana James ass wrestling right now? You're healed. You're completely good to get in that ring. Craziness. I don't know, man. Look, We talk about this all the time. I can't even say we talk about aura. We talk about y'all ain't been on no aura. Y'all ain't been on no storyline. Y'all ain't been on telling us how good it is. It hasn't been getting. Because it hasn't been getting better. This is crazy, man. I mean, like, I'd probably say the most memorable, my favorite part of SmackDown, and I wouldn't even be talking about the man with the magic boot. Love Jacob. But even with Jacob, they ain't really give him much. Because if he ain't getting in what he fitting in, we ain't going to be all right. Okay? And it seemed like Sami did get in what he fit in because now he's all right.
Not I mean.
Know what I mean?
Sami funny. Sami's a funny dude. Sami said, not I mean.
He only Canadian. What does he know? But I think probably my favorite part of SmackDown had to be Carmelo Hayes, man, and The Miz. I think that was probably the most memorable thing that had my eyes glued to the screen, that had me involved. They had me locked in. The crowd was with it. I think to finally see Melo get some kind of crowd reaction, finally, thank God, we finally got some crowd reaction out of Melo. So now hopefully this will make the writers backstage give Melo something. Now, granted, he might be, I'm hoping this is pushing for something. Get this man to a U.S. title opportunity so we can be a champion. He can do it. Y'all just got to give him the story. And I'm hoping that they do something with it because, honestly, yeah, I don't know, man. But, of course, Drew McIntyre killed it. Prayer Warrior. I'd be lying if I didn't say that was also one of my favorites. Drew McIntyre killed it, man. I mean, killing it. I can't wait to see what happens with him and Cody. The promo battles. Honestly, this should not be a one and done. And if y'all do continue with Drew and Cody, please don't make this stale. Please do not make this stale. What's up, Greg? You know what? You right. You right, Greg. We did need El Grande Americano on SmackDown. You right. We need another El Grande Americano.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about that's El D'Amato that's Finn's puppet.
El D'Amato. Oh,
yeah, that's Finn's puppet. Hey, yo,
I read it too fast.
Yeah, that's Finn's puppet.
Hey,
that Jake was funny. It was hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. He right. We do nail it. Yeah.
He was like, honestly, oh my God.
Oh,
Hey, it was good stuff.
JB had them sold that Jake.
The puppet battle was crazy. But yeah, man, I think SmackDown, it's like hot seat, juice. Heartbreak Print. What are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse too much because we kind of hinted at this earlier. I still is the word that I was looking for earlier, and I couldn't.
There you go. It took a while to get it.
Yeah. It's like because you just know they're doing something, the same thing over and over, and it's not entertaining. And what I fear about this though is the fact that you have Solo Sikoa right now as the United States champion, and I feel like his run is going to be bad. It's going to be stale because of the fact he's in the same feud with the same thing, like doing the same thing each and every week. It's always with Jacob. And
with Big Jim,
and Big Jim, and it's like I want to see Solo, facing somebody else. Like you just said, they could be developing a story right now where Carmelo Hayes is coming up to be the next contender for the U.S. Championship. Sami Zayn literally came out of nowhere this week and just say, "I'm the top contender for the championship," and I'm like, "You just got hit. You just came from Raw," and so it's like they and as loaded as the roster is, I would like to see WWE digging into their bag and introducing us, or at least building presenting some of the newer wrestlers, or some of the wrestlers from the back, I should say. I'll just say that way, from like that we don't get to see on television every week, to kind of see what we have to go into into the future. Like, who's going to face Solo in the future? Could it be Carmelo Hayes? Could it be a Sami Zayn? Could it be, I don't know. It just anybody besides the same, like Jacob Fatu every week coming out, Big Jim coming. Hey, put Big Jim in that match, like in that battle. Like, let's see what he can do as far as on his solo run. If you're not,
you throw Jey Uso in anything.
You threw Jey Uso in it
for his brother.
Yeah, I was going to say the Miz, but I think we're all right with Miz. But
I think we did.
yeah, just to keep it from being stale, and it's the same thing, and keep it from being the same thing. But I feel bad because I thought they had potential with Solo, how he was initially doing his run, just kind of his character coming through and everything. But I just feel like every week of you coming out and it's always against Jacob Fatu, I'm not interested anymore. Like I'm really just not interested in that back and forth. The best part of the night was, for me, was the promo from Drew McIntyre. Just how good, and Drew, I got to give it to him. When he first came back, like even going through NXT and then back into the main roster, I still felt he was a little stiff and a little shaky on the mic when it came to finding himself. And I don't know if that's because he was trying to be a face, and that doesn't really fit him as well. But this anti-hero type of thing that he has going on is just perfect, where he's blending the lines, where he's a villain, but he's like, you know what you're saying is kind of true. It's right. Like it's not kind of, it didn't happen like we really think.
He's not lying.
You beat up a good guy. You're not lying. You put his head through that table and it was devilish. It was diabolical. But he did kind of deserve that because he attacked you first.
Exactly.
It's like,
he had a legit reason.
I was like, I love this. I love what he did here. And, and Drew, he has really found himself. And it's a shame that he's not anywhere near the main title picture. And I don't know if this is him starting to build to that right now. But, you would have thought over the last few years with the way that he has the matches he's put on with CM Punk and Damian Priest, that he would have been somewhere back in the main title card. And they really haven't done anything with that or with him in that respect. But maybe that's it here. Although we know it's against the quarterback, and I don't see the quarterback losing to Drew McIntyre. That's the only problem.
Yeah, not
but
this
I
early.
would like to have Drew McIntyre as a champion with fans now, and just seeing where that goes. And so I got to give props to Drew McIntyre and the promo he did this week. It was great work there. And then lastly, my next favorite thing, Melanin was good, but the Profits I'm still in that bandwagon there.
Yeah,
the and everything going on with them. And so I don't know exactly what to say and what to do about the whole Profit thing and them. Like right now, we know the White Six have the titles. And again, it's like they have the titles, but WWE doesn't really seem to know exactly what to do with them. They're doing creepy stuff in the background, but I don't think
did that with them with no titles.
With no titles, I don't think WWE really knows what to do. It's sort of like what the same thing what they're doing with Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Like you don't even see them. They get their tag team titles, but they're not really doing anything. Something I meant to say. I wasn't with y'all last week. What New Day is doing, loving it. I love this whole they're in mourning. We're in mourning thing, and they're wearing the black, and they're wearing the little gloves.
Hey, bro,
the man had the huge hat. Like that whole mourning thing,
ridiculous.
It's crazy, but it is good, and I love that kind of touch and feel. But to get back to the Profits, like at this point, I don't know if I see them climbing the ladder to get their titles back, and if they do, like, will they be featured on any PLEs? Like, I don't really know. At this point, I kind of want the Profits to switch brands and go to Raw and just start there and kind of and build themselves back up from there. But overall, SmackDown, I think it was just C+ show. Like I said, I think WWE needs to really start taking some of these wrestlers out of catering and putting them out here in stories and some presentations, so that we can start to get a better feel for other wrestlers and how they present and let somebody grow at this point in time. Because right now, all your heavy hitters are starting to go the part-time route. Roman Reigns, part-time. John Cena, part-time. And well, he's going to be retired time. CM Punk, I don't know how much longer, he's going to be going.
Maybe 2 years, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know if we have a fresh crop. Even Seth Rollins, how much longer? His body, fails him from time to time. But how much longer can we try to rely on Seth Rollins to carry the brand? And Kevin Owens, he's out. Neck injury. I don't know when he's coming back. It's just, you have Drew McIntyre. You have LA Knight, who's also older as well. How much longer before you give him his reign and let him have his wonder years? So like I just feel like WWE has to like start like producing and putting new talent up front and letting us start to find our next person that we want to get behind.
Yeah.
Or group of people that we want to get behind.
I agree with that. And here's the thing: they have the people, but I think they're just not being highlighted properly. I mean, you got your, I mean, yes, obviously both Bronsons are starting to get some love, but it's still not maybe where it needs to be just yet. But you got a couple of guys that have potential to be really good for a long time. I mean, Montez Ford, to me, still, like we were talking till it blue in the face. The singles run needs to happen. Bianca said it on Chris Van Vliet show a couple of weeks ago, or an older one. But I watched the clip on it. It was recent. So I saw the clip on there, and she was like, "He's just waiting for when the time is right." And when the time is right, it's going to be masterful. And I don't want to see Dawkins, but I think Dawkins will do fine as a solo run as well. He may not be title, but I think he'll still be a great wrestler per se. I don't want to take that away from him, but that needs to happen. There's ton, and I agree with you 1,000, but there's a ton of great young potential. The Carmelo Hayes of the world. Obviously, Jacob's going to be amazing. They've got people in place. It's like, how do you set that next lineup and put them on the right path? It's just like, with Solo right now, even Solo's doing a really good job, I think, overall. But I agree with you 1,000%. They have to mix this thing up. Take a note from NXT when we're talking about JC James. JC James got 5 different scenarios that could pop off at any time. That's what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what they need to do with that title. Because, when Roman was champion, when he was world champion, he was facing different people. They would bring somebody to challenge him, either build that. They did it to LA Knight. They helped build LA Knight up a little bit, even though he lost those matches. They had different people go after the title, and Drew, it helped Drew up a little bit because they just knew he was going to win in that clash. So they helped build it up. Solo could do this on the mid-card range where, maybe he's facing Carmelo one week and then the MFTs ruin it, but it's just like, okay, now you got this guy who hates you on the side. There's just so many different people that they could just bring in the mix to make this something special. But I agree. I'm tired of seeing him go up against, either Jimmy or Jacob or now Sami. I'm going to tell you right now, they better not put this U.S. title on Sami Zayn. But you know what? They're going to do it. And they're going to do it. Pissed.
Yeah.
Because it makes
they're gonna do it.
It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Yes, there's beef there. They used to be brothers or whatever, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Like I'm already in my mind thinking that he's going to win the Royal Rumble. If not, I think he's going to be one of the last 2. Personally, if it's me, the man that prays should win the Royal Rumble.
Prayer Warrior, come on,
the Prayer Warrior should win the Rumble this year, and he should get somebody. I don't care if it's a triple threat match, and it should be CM Punk, and it should be Drew, and it should be Seth Rollins. Yep. That's the match that needs to happen. That hasn't happened. That's your WrestleMania 40
they've had.
Right. That's the WrestleMania 40. It's 42 this year, right? That's the WrestleMania 42 main event match that we should be having. That's the one. If they mess that up, there's other ways to go around it. Maybe it's Drew and Cody, but no matter what, Drew McIntyre needs to be the guy who wins the Royal Rumble. Like, even if he doesn't win now, it needs to set up for him to get that title reign. I agree with you 1,000%. He needs to be showcased. There's no reason why he's not getting showcased right now. I said it last week. I'll say it now. He's technically, if you ask me, he's probably the best heel in the company. They just haven't used it the right way.
Yeah.
Not Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is good, but he's not the best heel in the company. Like Drew has what it takes to be that just, oh my God. Like people are going to laugh at him, but if he does something nasty, it's believable. You know what I'm saying? Like he to me is the top heel in the company. They need to make that happen. I wanted to ask you guys a question. And it's pertaining to John Cena, and this all kind of correlates.
Never seen 17.
Never seen 17. Now, obviously, we have his last match is going to come up in December, and we know he's got to face Brock, and we know he's got to face Logan Paul. We know those are happening. And I was watching Busted Open. I was kind of listening. I listened to all 22 minutes of this, and who they thought should face them. They even threw The Rock's name in there. is the last opponent for John Cena. I want to know from you guys. I got my philosophy, but I want to hear y'all's. Who do y'all think Cena should face last? How would you handle that situation in his last match?
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you said The Rock, I said, yeah, that could work. There's a lot of ways with The Rock and Cena. I think they could really tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
I think even with with Cena turning face and everything like that, I think him turning face, and it was like, hey, you got with The Rock, sold your soul, you turned heel with him. So I think maybe in some ways there could be some kind of story they can tell with that. And it could work. It could work. I tell you this, because when you go down the list of the people that he's faced for his last run, he's faced almost everybody.
Yeah.
The only one he hasn't been able to face is the one man that is not in that company.
That's right.
I say maybe two. But we know Pope. And that was like one of my favorite rivalries. Hey, shout out to my man OVW on TikTok. Yeah, because he had made that same statement as well. Saying like, man, that's like the only one he really hasn't faced, and that was probably one of his best rivalries. But I mean, even AJ Styles, he hasn't faced him yet.
Yeah.
And that still kind of kills me. Like, how have we not seen Cena and AJ Styles again? But yeah, I would say definitely The Rock. The Rock would definitely be my pick.
Okay, what about you, Prince?
Yeah, my opinion may be a little tainted because I did see something about The Rock being Cena's final match, and I thought immediately that's a great idea because the story I immediately had in my head was, you were supposed to be my fighting champion, and you failed me. And because he's flipped back and gone back to being a face, and he's lost the title, and he couldn't turn Cody, but he could turn John Cena. And so like the final boss versus, John Cena for the battle for his soul, whatever you want to say. I thought, yeah, okay, that works. But the only problem was to that plan or to that thought process is his final match is on Saturday night's main event. And I don't know if that's big enough to get the final boss, to come out for a Saturday night's main event. So it is gonna have to go. Yeah, it's gonna have to be somebody else. And so the next person outside of the final boss that he could have a match with to end it, I would have to feel like it would have to be somebody that's on the come up, somebody that's like I'm leaving it to this next generation of a person. So whether that be a Braun Breaker, as Greg said, let's see. I don't know. Bronson Tsunami's probably a little too early. See, I don't want it to be Seth Rollins because I don't.
Seth's already been there. Yeah,
I feel like before he leaves, it needs to be with somebody that's the next up and comer that has the potential, that John sees has the potential. Right now, Braun Breaker is the only one that really comes to mind because I know they want to push him.
Right.
And I think only thing that plays in my head is Paul Heyman saying he's going to main event WrestleMania 45, 46, and 47. And but I feel like it has to be something like that because it's a Saturday night's main event. It'll be a great opportunity for this young wrestler to be able to showcase his talents with somebody in the ring like a John Cena, and then kind of say, hey, this is the future type of thing on his way out if it's not going to be the final boss.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what I thought was interesting on what they said on Busted Open. So they were saying like, if technically the last match doesn't have to happen on Saturday Night Main Event. It's in Boston, but it could be like a celebration of John Cena. But they was like, if it was them and you want to do The Rock, you put it at SummerSlam because technically SummerSlam is his last appearance before Saturday Night Main Event. So that's what it's supposed to be. So if you do it that way, you can have it in a massive place in San Diego, big crowd, and you can open up the seats and make it like a mega thing for that match. I was like, okay, I could see
for
that.
Survivor Series.
Yeah, it's Survivor Series. And then have like a celebration on the last night. I said, okay, I can see that. Now, me personally, and I don't think this is going to happen, and I agree with that. It should be Edge. It should be Edge. And I don't think WWE would reach out to AEW, but this is just my scenario. I say you make a deal with AEW. All right. You let Cena go on to AEW. First of all, just imagine you're at an AEW and you can't tell nobody. You're at an AEW show, whatever, and then you hear Cena's music hit when Cope is in the ring, and they just kind of have an exchange, right? could you just imagine what that would be like? First of all, fans are going crazy. Now all of a sudden, right. So AEW, right? AEW sitting there and they're just like, fans are going crazy, but it gives them a whole bunch of attention, right? And no, I know WWE doesn't like that, but think about what it also could do for WWE, because now you have Saturday Night Main Event, and you're at Saturday Night Main Event, and Cena's like, it's an open challenge, right? Act like that nobody's there. You give the anticipation to who it is, and then you hear, "You think you know me," and he comes out. That place is going to go insane. And I know they may not do it, but I just think that if you're going to do it, and Cena's been able to ask, is like, who do you want? I want this. Cena, if you listen to me, bro, make it happen. I feel like that the companies really wanted to make it happen. If they made sure it worked for both ends, maybe Cena doesn't wrestle, but at least makes an appearance, and then maybe Ed wrestles there. I don't know how they do it, but I think that would be cool. Now, the other thing is they were like, if you're going to you need to put somebody over that can be the next person. You know, I think Greg LaGreca, I always say his name wrong. He's kept saying Gunther. I'm like, no, it's not Big Gunther.
Dave LaGreca?
LaGreca, yeah. Personally, if it was me, I would do Drew. Because I think you need somebody who could use either beating John Cena, or if Cena wins and maybe he destroys him after the match and then leaves, you need somebody who can use that and say, I ended John Cena's career. I'm the one that put him down for the last time. Like, you need that. You need that person. And nobody's going to be like, oh, man, Drew's terrible for that. No, Drew would be perfect for it. Braun Breaker would also be perfect for it. But, yeah, I just wanted to hear you guys. I saw that. I said, man, I want to know what the guys would think about that. But me, I don't know how you make it happen, but it's got to be Edge, right? That was his best rivalry. You got to find a way to make Cope
we can't bring JBL. So I don't know. Yeah, that was the very first one. So yeah, man,
I think you got to go Edge, man, or Cope, whatever way you want to put it.
That would be amazing if they do.
Could you imagine?
I just can't see WWE doing it.
I don't think they'll do it either. But could you imagine?
They are in too much competition with AEW to destroy them. That they would
counter programming they've been
time
doing
of day
to
but it would be amazing if they would. It really would.
Just a truce with like y'all were going to give a truce for one time for the quote unquote greatest of all time. Let's see what happens. I know it may not happen. That was just me wishful thinking, because as just a wrestling fan, how cool would that be? It's like, I cannot believe AEW let this happen. I can't believe WWE let this happen. But that's just wishful thinking.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
super wishful.
Super wishful. We'll see what happens, man. Hopefully he has a good send off, better than Goldberg. I mean, Goldberg didn't really deserve one.
He cut my man Mike off. Time to go. Get out of here.
Yeah, cut it off. Yeah, but for Cena, I don't know, man. You got to get something properly respectful, man. They can't do Cena like that.
No.
Oh, man. But as always, like we tell y'all, please follow all of our social medias. Y'all already know when I tell y'all this. Facebook, we on that. X, we on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, we're on that as well. And we appreciate the love and support you guys keep giving us. We're looking at about 402 followers on TikTok and 175 subscribers. Hey, man, y'all keep liking it up. Keep subscribing, because we're going to keep giving you that content the exclusive way. Come on, man. I've been telling y'all this. Oh, man. But, we talked about some of the high C things that happened on Monday Night Raw, with the Vision, LA Knight, CM Punk. We talked about some of the great things that happened with Shawn Michaels cooking it up with the Big Lash, okay? The Young OG, Trick Willy Wonka, the Ruler, okay? JC Jane, okay, with Fatal Influence. And, of course, we talked about another high C SmackDown, with Jacob Fatu, Sami Zayn, Solo, and, of course, the Prayer Warrior, Drew McIntyre. But, as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend. We got the one man and the only man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. That's the Heartbreak Prince himself. And we got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Xclusive. Okay? Because we are the Xclusive Knights, and we always ensure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best that ever will be. And to ensure that your nights will never
be
the same.
That's trick. That's trick.